Well, welcome. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, so good to have you. I'm literally in the preamble, I guess you can call it. We discovered we went to the same university, but we missed each other by a year.
Yeah. I mean, well, we were there at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe we crossed paths.
At some point, maybe we were
smoky Lakota night.
Oh, I'm sure we did.
Sweating. We were like that Fred again, like, when are your shoulder blades kiss? In the smoking chaos. That was us.
Because the thing is, like, I definitely from watching your videos, now I know that, of course, these are the people that you're satirizing. The Bristol student, the rich student girl, that kind of thing. So here's a question I want to ask you. Shag, marry, avoid, Binky, Tilly, and Hugo.
Oh! Alright. I'm shagging Binky, Tilly, and Hugo, is it? I'm shagging all three.
You're shagging all
three.
That's
a mad foursome.
They're dirty
No,
as well.
I think I'm gonna marry Tilly.
Yeah.
Because she'll be annoying, but she's got a trust fund, like a big trust fund, and you can go on the yacht in summer, you know, all of that. I'm gonna shag Binky because she's just chaos. She's mental. You just know she's getting down to it in the bedroom. And I'm avoiding Hugo because I've had enough of Hugo.
Yeah, it's like, Hugo. Honestly,
it's just like fucking hell.
There's one video you have where it's one of them shouting at Hugo because it's like, I don't know why Hugo always does this.
Yeah.
Like, Hugo, stop it. And it just actually makes me laugh so much because I've seen that so many times when there's someone who's passed out on the floor.
Yeah.
Actually, stop.
Dude, Hugo, seriously, stop. It's not funny. He's just like, oh my god, Binky was such a slag. It's the way they just callously use words like slut and slag.
Exactly.
Like, you're like, what? You can't just call someone
Yeah,
that.
exactly. But the names are so like light-hearted, like Tilly, Binky, and Hugo.
Yeah. It's perfect.
So so the thing I want to talk to you about mainly was like, so you've started doing stand-up.
Yes.
We discussed it a bit, but I want to talk to you as if we've never spoken before for the people at home.
Okay.
So you started doing stand-up. When did you start? Like first gig?
First gig was July or June last year, so 2023.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, we just did a couple of gigs in the build up for Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah.
Right? It was 4 internet twats, as most people like to call us. And the Fringe show was meant to be this experiment of taking 4 online personalities, seeing how they fare on the stage for the first time.
Yeah.
So that was the first real show, but obviously in preparation for that, we did a couple of warm-up gigs and previews as we sort of figured out a set.
Yeah.
And so I did my first ever stand-up show at this gig called The Attic in Southampton.
Yeah.
And they were really nice. It was a really nice crowd.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was my first time.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I basically did this 15-minute set in about 5 minutes. Didn't move a muscle. And just sweated and just spoke faster than anyone's spoken in their whole entire life. I then watched it back on the train home, and I remember being like, that was all right, actually, yeah. And then watching it recently, it was the worst set I've ever seen.
How did it compare to what you thought it would be like?
I think at first, I thought I'd be a lot more natural.
Okay.
Because I've done acting and stuff.
Yeah.
Being on stage, I love. Like, I really, really like it. So I thought, you know, I've got this set, I know it. Like, I knew I'd be nervous, but I thought when I was there, I'd just get into the flow of it.
Yeah.
But I think because stand-up is, you're still, the way I do it, you're still being yourself.
Yeah. You were about to say stand-up comedy, you are yourself the way you do it.
Oh, yeah. What was it again? How did I find...
So how did you find doing stand-up? You thought you were more of a natural, but then...
Oh, the first time doing
it.
Yeah. I think at the end, it is just you. You're yourself on stage, not just a character. I think, obviously, people do the character comedy, like Mr. Swallow, for example. Yeah. And I think I could do something like that, and maybe I will one day. Yeah. And I think I'd almost find that more natural. Yeah. But I think what I discovered the more I did it was... if I bring in characters, but within the narrative kind of form of stand-up, that's where I feel comfortable, because each time when I'm the characters is when I really have fun with it.
I see.
And then that often gets the laughter. Yeah. And it's not necessarily just TikTok characters. It's just telling a story, but becoming those characters. And then that makes me much more relaxed and comfortable with the in-between bits, and then telling, say, the more traditional stand-up jokes.
I see. So you've done acting before?
Yes.
So what have you done?
I went to Stagecoach. No. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool guy.
I've done a lot of porn. Just male solo.
I think that is the only art form lower than stand-up comedy.
Just jacking off in your bedroom, filming it like, they're gonna love this.
Oh God.
No, I did a lot of theatre as a kid.
Yeah.
I was in a couple of plays as a kid at the Leicester Theatre called Curve, which is like the one good thing in Leicester.
Nice.
Other than the football team.
Yeah.
Leicester, we football and tits.
I don't know anything about football.
But I know a lot about tits. So it's a really big theatre. So I did a lot of acting as a kid there and loved it. So that was always the dream. And then I wanted to go to drama school. And my dad was like, absolutely not. He was like, you need to get a job in the real world.
Yeah.
So I became a TikToker.
Nice. A job that didn't exist like 5 years ago. So what did you do at uni?
English.
English, fine.
English. Basically, I wanted to go to... I just wanted to go to uni mainly for the experience. Because I wanted to go to drama school. My dad was like, you should go to uni.
Yeah.
And right now, I get it, actually. At the time, I resented him for it a little bit. But I was like, now I get it because, I wouldn't then have the freedom to then do what I do now if I didn't have that backing at the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go and have fun. And I was like, I really like English.
Yeah.
It doesn't restrict me to a specific vocation.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great when everyone else was like revising in the ass. For
For
people that don't know, the ass is a library in Bristol.
It is a library.
You're just like
revising.
shoving past papers in their ass.
What was it? The arts and social sciences.
Yes, yeah,
What
yeah,
a crazy name.
Surely they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They're fucking lads at
I
Bristol.
just loved it. Like every time, it'd be such a good like way to flirt with someone because it'd be there like, oh hey, revising later. It's like, yeah, I'll see you in the ass.
They get slapped
like, oh
in
my
the
god,
face.
yeah.
Clearly.
But they'd be revising, and I'd just get to sit and read a book in the sun. It was great.
But do you still read?
Yes. Yeah.
Favorite book? Anything?
Oh, I don't think I have a favorite book specifically, but I like the Beats.
Yeah.
The Beats generation, which is like Jack
Oh
Kerouac
yeah.
and Allen Ginsberg
Like
and
The
stuff
Road.
Like yes,
Yes.
On the Road by
yeah.
Kerouac. That's a really, really good book.
Yeah.
And we did a module in that in uni, and it was really, really cool.
Mad. So yeah, Henry Rowley has depth.
Not much. That's as deep as it gets. I've read a couple of books, and then the rest is just TikTok.
Hey. But the thing is, yeah, I think TikTok gets a bad rap. I think, like we were saying before the camera started on, like everyone who does TikTok for some reason hates TikTok. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it where it's like, it's so addictive and you kind of know it's taking a piece of your soul away that you just kind of know like you're kind of doing a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Like it's going to help you out, but at the same time, God, it's going to like make you addicted to it.
Yeah. I also think this is interesting. I also think it's people like, and I'm guilty of this as well.
Yeah.
A victim.
I'm
guilty of this. I think it's also a self-defense mechanism for a lot of people who do it because they're aware of what the, what other people will think immediately, what their initial thoughts are when you're a TikToker. So the sort of defense mechanism is to block any of those by saying like, oh yeah, I'm so self-aware of it. Like, I hate TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm not like other TikTok boys.
Yeah, of course.
So it immediately gets rid of it. Although secretly it's like,
yeah,
you gotta love it a little bit. You know, it's how I make my career. But at the same time, it's a love-hate relationship, as with all social media.
Yeah. So you more of a TikToker now, or more of an Instagram? Like, how would you even quantify that?
I think I always did TikTok, never did Instagram, and then I got my new agent last year, and she was like, "You need to be on Instagram as well." So before I was just posting personal stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Pardon me,
please. Do it into the mic.
Just shat myself. No, and then I started posting on Instagram more. So just and it went big as well. Yeah. So now I'd say it's both. It's kind of evenly split. I just post on both.
Yeah.
Both platforms.
And would you say you enjoy it?
Yeah. For the stuff I do, I mean, there's no pressure.
No.
You know, like recently I've not posted as much just because I've not had many ideas. And that's because I've just been drinking too much.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny. Like today, I've had no ideas for like a month because I've just not been quite there.
Yeah.
And then today, I sat down and I recorded about 10 and 15 videos. And I was there like, damn. This makes a big difference.
That's a hard day's work, that.
But there's no pressure because it's like, at the end of the day, I'll sit in my flat,
Yeah.
have a couple of coffees, get really weird and hyper.
Yeah.
And I used to just do this anyway, just when I was working from home for my old job. And just do voices and random skits and stuff. And now I can now the only difference is I'm filming it and other people actually give a shit about it.
Yeah.
So it's quite fun.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. And it's like, not only is it internet stuff, which itself is new, but it's also TikTok self is so new as well.
Yeah.
And it was really like, I think COVID was the real change where this kind of thing, like, he went huge. Like, I can't even remember, like, before COVID if TikTok was even a thing, really.
I didn't really know about it. I mean, even during COVID, I knew that was when I first heard of it. Yeah. But even then, I didn't use it. My perception was it's just little kids doing dances.
Yeah, it was. I
thought if you've got it, you're either a little kid or a pedophile.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And my dad loved it. But I just remember thinking, like, I keep looking into that camera, by the way.
I mean, that's where it's being recorded.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, hey. But yeah, I'd never heard of it. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, TikTok, yeah. I was like, yeah.
That's how she sounded.
Yeah, that was actually her. She's here.
Oh, such nonsense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, so, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I feel like it's evolved over time. Because it's like, it's become this thing now where it's like, oh, it's destroying the youth. Are they spending loads of time on TikTok? Are they being brainwashed? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, in some ways, I see it as the least harmful social media. Because if you look at the comments on TikTok versus YouTube versus Instagram, they are actually the least toxic, I think.
Yeah.
I think,
I completely agree. I think it depends in what capacity it's being used.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with all social media. The problem that can happen with algorithms that are specified to what your interests are is if you're consuming, for example, political information via these mediums and there's not a breadth of information you're not getting both sides, you start to exist in an echo chamber and it gives you this tunnel vision of what the big picture is and you can't form an opinion yourself. You're just being fed an opinion, and I think that is very toxic and dangerous in the modern world. But I think at the same time, if you're using it in a way where you're actually like, and TikTok, you can do this, and Instagram, you can do this. Again, it depends how you use it. If you're getting both sides and stuff, it's great because there is such a wealth of material on there. So you can sort of paint a picture yourself and then form an opinion. I think with all social media, it's a dangerous sort of place.
It's a dangerous game, But it's like, it's also this, it makes it so that there's so much more opportunity. Like, for like people like you to exist, people like me partially. Like, it's like, it must be mental. Like, would you say, okay, here's a crazy question. Do you feel famous?
Yeah. I thought about it. I was like, you're going to sound like a dick here. And I was like, I think the thing is that I know when famous is weird because I don't feel like a celebrity, but I feel famous.
That's a good distinction.
Because I think the difference, like I went to New York recently and I was getting recognized there and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But I think what the thing is, the difference is with a celebrity, people are more, there's more distance, you know, if it's a musician or an actor.
Yeah.
They're more intimidating. They're sort of this mysterious character and it's like, oh my God, that's them.
Yeah.
Whereas people will see me and just be like, oh, that's that guy who's sometimes on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I like your stuff. Or sometimes, hey, I hate your stuff. But like they come up to you and I'd say, so the famous, because I do get recognized a lot.
Yeah.
And I really do genuinely love it.
Yeah.
You know, random strangers being happy to see you.
Yeah.
And I'm also a vain twat. You know?
But that's the thing. I mean, the thing you've really hit on, it makes sense because that's why it's so easy to like advertise as an influencer because people feel like I know this person. This person's my friend. I trust them when they tell me this is good, blah, blah, blah. Whereas even if like, I don't know, if Matthew McConaughey said, buy this drink, would you listen to him?
No, I think that's where these brands get it right. It's like designer brands, they don't work with, you know, social media people as much, but they work with actors because you see an actor wearing a cool outfit and you think, oh, I want that outfit because they look so cool.
Yeah.
But they're not telling you to buy it. They're just wearing it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some guy on Instagram who you feel like you know is like, try this, new. I'm not going to say it because I've signed some contracts. But like people trust it more.
Yeah,
and
of course they do.
I think that also gives you, you know, if someone in my position, you don't promote something that you don't actually believe in.
Yeah.
Unless they offer you a lot of money. That's a joke for legal reasons. My agent's gonna kill me.
That's so funny. No, but that's the thing. You're a comedian. You can say stuff and say it was a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Work with me. Still.
Do you feel like a comedian?
I feel like a clown. No.
We all do, really.
I think, yeah, because, but again, I was said to you earlier, I feel like a comedian, but I can't quite call myself a stand-up yet.
yeah.
I'm a comedian who does stand-up.
Yeah.
But stand-up, I'm still in the process of learning, earning my stripes.
Yeah.
But I think I am a comedian. You know, I do stand-up, I do online, I do things like this.
You're definitely a comedian.
So I think, that's my job, I would say, but again, pardon me. Keep drinking Coke and then just burping mid conversation.
Burp away. Burp free.
Ladies. Burp on your face. I think I would call myself a comedian.
Yeah. No, what I like, you do clearly have a respect for stand-up.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's like probably the distinguishing thing, because I feel like a lot of people do try stand-up and they don't really know that it's hard.
Yeah.
But like you clearly know it's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like for you? Like
I think I've always loved watching stand-up.
Yeah.
And I used to watch it. You know, I never had a dream or wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It was, I used to watch it, but I used to be like, there's no way, like having done acting and like writing and stuff, I was like, there's no way this is just, you know, you just go up there with a couple of ideas and then riff it. It's, you can see that it's so intricate and rehearsed.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some people who do go up and riff it, you know, some of the legends. That's an anomaly, you know, that's not the norm. The norm is this very specific, intricate routine that's figured out.
Yeah.
And I realized that even more so when doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
But I was always of the opinion, right, when I would see these like social media people coming and trying stand up, and I'd be like, oh, you ignorant twats. You think just because you're funny online, you can be a stand up. God, what are they like? And then my agent was like, hey, we've got a slot of Fringe. Do you want to try stand up? I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
I'll try stand up.
I can do it.
No, it's I think it's less like that it's particularly difficult. It's more that it's very unique in what it is, because it's like, it's kind of like acting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like improv, but it's not really like either. Like, because it is rehearsed. It's a rehearsed routine kind of thing, but also it's also a living thing every time you perform it. Yeah. Because when you perform it, it could be different depending on the audience. You might want to add things in because there are things in the room that are happening. Like it can be very different.
Yeah,
but
it's not rigid, is it? It's constantly sort of moving, and like you said, it's a live performance, so inevitably it's going to change each time. Yeah. And you've got to be ready for that and constantly thinking.
Exactly, yeah. But the thing is having any experience of making people laugh is going to help. Like, but it's like, I think some people come into it and they think, you're just talking in front of a crowd. You can do that easily.
Yeah, usually to make people laugh, I've got to have sex with them. You can't do that with a whole room.
No, you can't.
It'll take me 10 minutes.
That's good. That's a bit. You can do that.
Yeah.
That's an opener.
Maybe I'll add that to maybe I'll add that to the show.
Yeah, how long have you got now, like material-wise?
So I had a session yesterday. Yeah. And I was meant to turn up with like my first draft of the hour. Yeah. And I was like, pretty sure I've got this. Turned up and did it. And I was like, so how long was that? Yeah. It was like 19 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I've got more material. Yeah. But I think now I've sort of figured out what the hour-long show is going to be about. It's sort of a case of there's going to be a lot more. It's finding old bits and working them into that, but a lot of new writing to add those bits to keep that sort of, to give the show a purpose, you know what I mean? To give people a reason to watch. Yeah.
So what's your like technique of like making that material? Like, are you doing gigs? I know you have your gig that you do, like on Thursdays and stuff.
Yeah, first Thursday of every month.
Buy tickets.
Get tickets. It's actually all sold out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Don't buy tickets.
We've got don't buy tickets. You can.
You can't buy tickets.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
No, you are. This is the internet. You can do whatever you want.
But we're doing like a final one in June. Yeah. Which I'm gonna plug. And that's gonna that'll come on sale. Visit my website, henryrowley.com. Yeah. And
you have the lineup at all the tickets are bought so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is the room?
So the one at 2 North Down
Yeah.
is the one I've been doing every month. That's 70 people.
Fair.
So it's really nice. It's a really nice room. It's always, what I found is it's such a nice crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I've had loads of like seasoned comedians come and do a gig, and every single time they've loved it because the crowd is so good.
Yeah,
You know, they're never annoying or there's never anyone difficult, and they're so up for it and just have fun. And it's like, you know, there's been shows there where I've not been amazing, but I've never died. In other clubs, I would have definitely completely bombed and died on stage, but they've sort of laughed enough to keep me going through, which is so nice. And then the other comedians have come on and just absolutely smashed it. So they saved my ass because it's like these people have paid for a ticket. They want a good show.
Yeah.
So like,
do you go on first or last?
I go on first. So I'm the MC.
Oh, I see.
I hate MCing.
Interesting.
It's weird. I think if I was just MCing an event,
yeah,
I'd feel very happy.
Yeah, not a comedy event. Like just a normal event.
A comedy show where I MC, then do a set.
Yeah.
I don't find it natural for me, and it's really weird. It's something I'm still figuring out.
Why that choice? Why did you decide to MC?
I didn't know. It was my agent. She was like, "You've got to do crowd work." I was like, "I'm not doing crowd work." She's like, "You've got to do crowd work." I did crowd work, and I was just there like,
Hey, you.
What do you do for work?"
So you breathe air?
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, how did you get here?" Like the tubes. Like, what's your favorite line?
Oh my gosh. Wait, so I assume it's because like crowd work is really big now. Is that what your agent was thinking?
I think it's just, as an MC, it is a good way to warm the crowd up. You know, you get to know them, bring them in, just be like, have a little chat to them, stuff like that. And I agree with her. She's right. It's just, no matter how chilled I am before, that first bit when I get up, I'm like, you know, I'm a little bit like, ugh. Whereas if I could go straight into my set, I think I'll just be natural and straight into it. But it's because I've not done it enough. It's practice.
How many sets have you done now? Do you know? Have you been counting, or you just raw dog in life?
Just raw dog in life.
Just raw dog in life.
Straight up. Like the pillow, I'm going in dry.
Who was that?
I think that's from something. I feel like
it sounds like it.
I've heard it before. I don't know where that came from, but I really hope it's from something.
That's the thing. It's like when you consume so much media, you don't even know where the things you say come from anymore.
I reckon under 100.
Under 100.
Under 100, over 50.
Fine.
Because Fringe was like, what, 27 or something?
Yeah.
And we did,
Oh, wait, that's a good amount.
In between 50 and 100.
Over a year?
Yes.
That's huge. You're a stand-up comedian.
Oh. You've not seen me.
No.
When it goes well, I am.
Yeah. No, I'm of the opinion anyone who does stand-up is a stand-up comedian.
Yes, no,
because
I do agree.
Because I mean, where I am, I've been going for 4 years.
Yeah,
I would say I'm semi-professional. I couldn't quit. I couldn't do just stand up and support myself, but I do professional nights like pretty regularly.
Yeah.
And I've got a bit of TV stuff, bit of internet stuff like that. But it's like, what is a comedian? Someone who's going full time? Like, is that the cutoff? Yeah, like you know what I mean. It's hard to say the cutting lines. For me, I'm just like, if you do stand up, you're a stand up comedian.
I would say you're a professional stand up. I think if you're doing all of that, you are a professional stand up. You just also have another job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You're well regarded. Like you're a professional stand up.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, it's I think also as well, a lot of stand-ups, because the road is so difficult, they get so cagey about people who come in and it seems like they've taken an easier pathway.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the thing that I always say to stand-ups, and they get so annoyed when I say it, is that coming in and doing gigs, doing like clubs in London and doing clubs in the counties and stuff like that, and doing that for 10 years, it just doesn't work anymore. Yeah. It just doesn't work. You have to find another way to get there.
I think so. And I think, well, also I think a lot of the comedians are trying the social stuff as well.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think my attitude is I don't want to, talk about their opinion because that's their opinion. I think my whole thing is your approach coming into it. Yeah. I think it's how you deal with it then. I think if you're coming into it, say from social media, and you come in with this entitled sense and you really think you're already there just because you've done that. Yeah. Then I get it. I'm like, fuck off. Yeah. But I think if you're coming into it and you sort of respect the craft and respect what other people have done and you respect your level and that you need to go and earn your stripes, then, then I think it's unfair to be to be critical of them.
Yeah.
I just said I'm not going to talk on their opinion, and then I just spoke on their opinion. But fuck that. So I think if you come with the right attitude,
yeah, of course,
you can't.
It seems like you have
can't
as well.
like that.
Yeah, that's the thing, because obviously because of where you are with your like social stuff, you're coming in at a high level, so it's like it's very difficult because you've done more stand-up comedy than a lot of people in your position would have done. Like,
yes,
because you could have said, you know what, I'll just try to do a show every year. People will pay to come and see me. I can cash out, great, whatever. But you actually like committing to it, which is very impressive.
Yeah. It's with a lot of push. I just keep getting. I'm a yes man, so I keep getting signed up. Like, I get these like cool opportunities, and I'm very lucky with that.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's months away." Yeah.
Go
and then
on.
it comes, and I'm like,
Fuck's sake.
But I do love it. You know, you kind of have to go. You kind of have to go all in with it. I guess, don't you? You can't just half-ass it.
Yeah. Was stand-up always the goal?
No. Acting. I didn't think of stand-up until that Fringe opportunity.
Yeah.
And even then, I saw that as an experiment.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I may as well say yes. Like, the opportunity to do a month of stand-up at Fringe is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even if it goes awfully, it will still be a fun experience. It'll be something that I'll look back on. And worst case is that I just learn that it's something else that I'm shit at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It'll be like, oh, I'm awful at stand-up. It's not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? I'll die on stage for a month, but probably have a really good time at the Fringe.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, I've got to try it. And then... yeah, it went quite well.
Yeah,
you know, obviously it wasn't anything incredible, but I really enjoyed it. Saw a lot of improvement.
Yeah, that's good. Have you done any shows where people don't know who you are yet?
Yes. Yeah. I've done a few. I think there's always been at least I've not done anywhere I think no one knows me. Yeah. Because I think
everyone knows me.
What can I say? I'm famous, baby. No, I think because a lot of the time, if you're doing, if a comedy club asks you onto a bill, they've not really give a shit about my set. They want to sell some tickets. So I think, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But then it was what I was saying to you earlier. You don't get the anonymity of failure.
Yeah, of course.
So if you are shit, people are like, oh, that guy off TikTok or Instagram is shit.
It almost makes me go like, why are you doing this?
Trust me.
I watched this before. But that's the thing, is like you have to respect it more. Yeah. Because it's like I don't know why. It's like it's like you could do anything else. You could do whatever you wanted. It's
like a Disney film.
Exactly. 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 Like you could do anything else, but you chose to do this. So it's like you have to respect it more. Yeah. Like it clearly shows you love it.
I do love it. And I think again, my attitude, I don't know whether, I mean, Fringe, and then, I can't actually say, I don't think.
Okay, you're not?
No, Fringe NDAs. And then something else.
Something else that's happening.
Something else that's happening will be a good indicator of whether I'm going to continue this long term, or whether this is going to be a period of my life where it's like, I did that for a little bit and it was really fun because I have really enjoyed it, but it's stressful. It's a lot of work. Yeah. It's stressful. But I think it's one of those, if Fringe goes really well and I'm there like, yeah, I want to keep doing this, it's amazing, and I will. But I think also, you know, I'm still pursuing acting. There's still doing stuff like that, doing a lot of self-tapes at the moment.
So what does that road look like for someone who wants to do acting in your position?
Hollywood, man. Just going straight to Hollywood. Show them how many followers I've got.
Just like, look at it.
Look, surely does that not just qualify me? I don't really know. No. I don't know whether it's going to be, you know, whether it would be comedy roles or serious roles. I'm kind of, at the minute, just doing some auditions and seeing. And it's one of those you can never really tell. Yeah. So I'm kind of just seeing, same with stand-up. I'm just kind of doing, as long as I still enjoy it, there's no point stopping it. It's the same with social media. The minute I start to think I absolutely hate this, you stop. And it's having a negative effect on my life, I'll stop. Same with all of them, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you feel? Because I've always thought, because I feel like actors and stand-up comedians are almost rivals in a weird way. Have you noticed that? Yeah.
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what they unite on is the fact that they all fucking hate magicians. Magicians just don't. They're like, fuck off. Like, you got like two, like Darren Brown and Dynamo. I respect. Yeah. Everyone else
hates magicians.
They all hate magicians. It's a rivalry I've not noticed actually.
No, you know,
no.
It's I would say it's. There's a lot of overlap because there's a lot of people who do both. Yeah. But I think because with acting, I think it's less about the art forms and more the personality types, because I guess with acting you're waiting to be chosen for something basically, but with stand up it's like you're like, I'm gonna fucking take it in my bare hands, no one's gonna give it to me and I'm gonna take it. So then those like people end up clashing because with actors it's like, oh please, like give me this role, blah 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 blah, but with stand-ups it's like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna get it anyway, that kind of thing. So I feel I feel like sometimes actors start to do stand-up and they get a similar reaction as when like people do online stuff start to do stand-up. But if you haven't noticed it, it's good that it's going away.
Yeah. You can see that it's going away, I think.
Yeah,
the world is changing, but there is definitely more of a I think both all of these things, social media, stand-up, acting can be very cliquey.
Yes, definitely.
But I think that's less about, it can be amplified by the industry, but I think it's less about the industry and more about the people within. Yeah. Because it can also be very, very open. The stand-ups I've met and actors I've met have been so nice, so useful, so helpful, and so lovely. And
that's good. That's good.
But,
So have you gotten any roles yet with that actually?
Not major roles. I've done a couple of plays recently. They've been like semi-professional.
Oh, nice.
And it's the first acting I've done in quite a few years.
Yeah.
And now I'm basically, I don't know if I can say this. I think I'm going out to LA with my agent. Yeah. We're working with this other agency. Yeah. And hopefully through that there will be a job at some point. Like I said, I'm doing some auditions, and again, I can't say for what or anything like that, but I just want to keep doing them. And what is really good is it's working at honing that craft, and the years I've missed out where I've not been doing that, sort of bringing that back. And it's almost like just self-tapes is almost like practice as well. All these different roles, and it's like sort of the muscle thing.
Yeah, the hypertrophy.
Yeah. You're a medic. So.
I knew what you were saying. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so with acting, like with the self-tape, what actually is that? Like, what are you doing?
So a self-tape is essentially a remote audition. So it became like much more, I don't know, I think they've been done for a long time, but I think especially during COVID, self-tapes became the norm. And then people realized it's very easy. Yeah. So essentially you get sent a scene, and then you set up a camera, film yourself, and you have someone in the background reading all the other characters, and you're the one on camera reading your part. Yeah. And you send that off. And there's sometimes one scene, sometimes four. Yeah. And it's just for a director and a casting director to get a first look at you, and then they shortlist, and then that's probably then maybe another self-tape, then they bring you in for an audition. Yeah. Process depends on the agency.
Fine. So I imagine, do you get a lot of auditions but you don't necessarily get the roles? Does that happen quite a lot?
That's the nature of it. I mean, I'm lucky. These people we're working with are amazing. So I've been getting a lot of self-tapes. But one of my friends with their old agency, they got like 3 self-tapes in 2 years.
Really?
So they left because it was like,
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? And I think a lot of what's happening is a lot of agencies are getting saturated with clients because they're signing clients, but then they're not getting enough tapes to then send them. So it's difficult. It's the world of acting, until you land like a big role, and then it's easier to get more. If you're a new actor, it is very difficult to get that initial thing because you've not proven yourself.
And people, it's such a hard road, and it's weird because it's like I'm sitting here as someone who does stand up. I have a normal job that I could just do and sail away into the sunset of the NHS, but I do stand up, and even I'm like, God, being an actor sounds brutal. Yeah, like it sounds like a hard road. Like I almost wonder, like because I almost wonder what is the thing, like because with stand up it's like the clear dopamine hit of having a room full of people laugh. I'm like, I completely understand and I can relate to that. But I wonder, like, so with acting, what is the thing that people are chasing? Like, what's the dopamine thing? What's the pleasure point?
I think that's the difference between different actors. And I think it's a key difference is I think a lot of people go into it chasing the fame. Yeah. And the glitz and the glamour. And they just want to be known and loved and appreciated. Yeah. Whereas a lot of people are going just for the craft. Yeah. It is just, that's such a wanky thing to say.
You're on a podcast. You can be as wanky as you want.
Some people are going for the craft.
For the craft. It's craft.
Acting is an art. It's you know, it's not media, it's a mode of expression.
It is, Tilly.
But God, I am my own characters, aren't I? And I think it is. Some people do just do it because they love doing it, and the fame just, you know, like Cillian Murphy, I think is a great example of that. There's a lot of people like him, Daniel Day-Lewis. These are the people who you see. They're quite not media shy, but they're just. That's not why they're in it. They don't want you, like, you know, in interviews when people ask them about themselves, they're like, I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk. If you want to talk to me, I want to talk about the film and the role. Like that's what they loved, you know. Adapting someone, like really getting into a character and portraying that and different emotions and expression, and you know what that will bring out for other people. Yeah. So I think that's the kind of difference. And then there's some people who want both.
Yeah, I get that.
This guy.
That's I mean, I respect it so much because it's like so many. Because I've probably interviewed quite a few people who are relatively famous in some way. And I always find it interesting, their relationship to fame. Yeah. Because it's like, I feel like I respect it more when people can acknowledge they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get it, you know? It's fun.
It is. Oh, it's so fun, man.
It's fun. Like, is it to the level for you where, like, if you want to be anonymous in public, like, do you have to, like, wear a hoodie or something, or is it not that much of a...
I think if I was doing that, I'd draw more attention to myself, but then no one would want to come up to me. It's at that level where I think you have to acknowledge the level that you're at. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, I get recognized quite a lot, which is amazing, and I love it. But I'm a fucking TikToker, Instagrammer. I'm not Harry Styles. Yeah. For him, I get it. It's annoying. You know, it's difficult for him to live a normal life. For me, people will just... maybe walk past and be like, I like your videos, or ask for a photo.
Literally happened.
And that's really nice.
Literally happened when we went to get coffee. Literally mad.
But I think, like, if you're a TikToker and you're wearing sunglasses and putting your hood up because you just want to live a normal life, then it's like just fucking. That's when you're creating it for yourself. That's where you want the attention more almost, because you're trying to create that persona around yourself. It's like, you're putting yourself out there. Yeah. Your whole job is this. Yeah. Don't then pretend to hate it.
That's like, a great point, actually. Yeah. Because if you are doing that, then it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's more like bait in a way. It's more obvious that you're doing that. Man, yeah. I mean, yeah, because I used to do stuff for TikTok, but I used to just like put my stand-up videos on there. And it got some traction, but then it's the fact that you have to post so much with TikTok. Like, I feel like the algorithm is a lot less forgiving than the others.
Yeah, 100%.
Brutal.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, I was I was posting like 7 videos a day.
Really?
Yeah, and I had a job. My manager was like, "How are you getting on?" And I was like, "Working from home is great." But they're like, "Yep, just done loads today." He's gonna see this and be like, "I fucking knew that."
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How did your friends like react when you first blew up on TikTok? Was it like, did they take the piss?
Yeah. I'm glad they still do. They find it hilarious that I'm a 26-year-old man who makes TikToks for a living. They're not like, oh my god, it's so cool. It's like, oh my god, you're an embarrassment. Like, if we're out at the pub and someone comes up like, oh, can I get a picture? They're like, oh fuck off. It's really, I love it. I think the first like video, it got like, I can't remember what it was, but it was what I thought at the time was like semi-viral. Yeah. It wasn't actually that much, but it was just like, I never had anything like that. And I sent it and they were like, oh my God, this is so cool. Yeah. And then my mate posted one on TikTok and it got even more. Yeah. And then they were like, what? And I was there like, oh, fuck. So then I was like, right, I'm gonna make loads.
7 a day. How long did you do that for?
A few months. I was only posting 7 a day because I was making so many. Yeah. You know, it's not like that's the way to do it. And I was grinding and grafting, and it's all about consistency. The grind set.
That's what it's called. It's a grind set.
It's like that hustle porn, isn't it?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You gotta wake up and fuck a book. I was up at 3. Like, what? That's just horrible. So I punched myself in the dick in the morning just to stay grounded. Yeah, God. I was only posting 7 a day because I would make like 15. Yeah. And I'd be like, 7 of these are really good, but I don't want to lose them, so I'm just gonna post. Yeah. Post. Yeah. And but yeah, if people are, you know, if it is people being like seeing this and then being like, oh, I need to post 7 a day. It's like, no, just post good stuff.
Yeah. Do you recommend like the life of a TikToker? Like, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking great.
I fucking love that so much. I love it so much because it's just so good to be like, yeah, it's fucking sick.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm having the best time. It's not going to last forever. Social media.
Make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Enjoy it. Like, social media, you'll be relevant for a year or two. Yeah. Maybe if you're the sidemen, you make it like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But for most of the rest of us, it's not going to last forever.
Nah.
You'll become irrelevant soon enough. So it's like, it's fun.
Just enjoy it.
Really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in all the other stuff.
All the nonsense.
It's great.
For you, like, have you thought like years in the future, or are you just living as it goes?
I do think about years in the future, but I don't plan. I don't set myself goals.
Okay.
Because for me, it's different for different people. But I
Yeah.
think for me, goals is more restrictive.
Yeah.
Because if I'd set myself, say when I started TikTok, like I'm gonna have X followers and that's all I'm gonna focus on.
Yeah.
I would have said no to stand up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone back into acting, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. And I feel like I'm kind of just open to everything. And it's like I said before, as long as it's going relatively well and I'm enjoying it, I'll keep doing it and kind of just see where it goes.
Yeah.
If I'd set myself goals, I wouldn't have gone to uni, or then I would have gone to uni, but I wouldn't have started social media.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
There's different phases of my life where I've wanted completely different things and envisioned a different path.
Yeah.
So I kind of envision different things, but yeah, I'll if an opportunity comes along, I'm open to it. Really.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
Male solo.
Yeah, male solo.
That's the goal.
That is just.
If all else fails.
That's such a bleak, like, just like as a pairing of words. Just men should never be alone.
Men should never be alone.
We don't do well alone.
It's embarrassing enough, that feeling of shame when you're finished and you're there like. Oh,
and now it's a public
I'm
thing.
disgusting. Let alone filming it and putting it on the internet. Sort yourself
especially
out,
for like 5 people to watch it as well.
No one watches male solo.
No one wants that. No one wants that. And then I bet people are going to send me some huge OnlyFans person. Yeah. Just male solo. Fucking hell. Yeah, no, but this thing is like when you do this kind of thing, you literally have no idea where it's going to end up. And it's just like, that's kind of the fun of it because you're just kind of rolling the dice and like shit just happens sometimes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because like with me, like I started doing stand-up then did stand-up in Bristol. And then like I was telling you before, Lakota in Bristol became a comedy club basically. Yeah. And then it was just like people like Russell Howard coming down doing shows there.
Sick.
I did the podcast started because of that. There were people coming into Bristol who were like relatively big names, managed to get them on, and then that started from there. But it's like
amazing.
It's the last 4 years have been fucking mental because it's very strange because it's literally someone can send you a message and then it just takes the rest of your year on a complete tangent.
Yeah.
Because something new just opens up. Like you going to, where was it? Snowbox?
Snowbox.
Yeah. Snowbox! Oh my gosh. That's so cool though. Like you said, your next trip's to Malta, is it?
Yes, yeah. I don't know I can't say who.
Oh god damn it!
I know. The thing is, I might be able to, but then I'm just like, if I do, and then it's like, oh my god, you can't say that.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare for you.
Yeah, no, god, it is.
Who's the most famous person you've interviewed?
Probably Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr. I saw that actually.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr's probably the most famous.
Who's been the worst?
The worst. Who do I hate the most? I will never speak to again. Nah, they've all been good. I think the one that was probably the most surprising to me was James Acaster.
Oh yeah,
probably because I didn't know what he was going to be like before I did the interview, and I didn't know whether he had a character or not. But it kind of speaks to what you were saying before about stand-up, how it's like it's kind of a character, it's kind of not. It's like with him, it was like he exists in this weird realm where it's like it's him, but it's like the most exaggerated sides of him. Okay. But it's just who he is on stage. Yes. But if you're like, even when you're like on Off Menu, his podcast, that's not even really him. It's a very different. It's a very different thing. Even him on like Taskmaster or something, that's like that's not even the real version of him. But like if you meet him and you speak to him, you're like, okay, this makes sense where this has come from.
So he's sort of like a mellowed out version in real life.
Yeah. I'd say a mellowed out, more introspective version.
Yes.
Yeah. Much more like considerate of himself and like therapy kind of mindset, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's why I love doing this, is because like you literally can take someone who you've been like, oh, I've seen videos of this person, I wonder what they're like.
Yeah.
And then try to just understand them in like an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
And I think I've made steps with you. Not quite.
Twat.
Not quite there yet.
This guy's a dick.
No, you're very self-aware.
Don't know about that. I said I was famous earlier.
No, but that's good. That's good. I mean, you are in a way. But the thing you said about the fame versus celebrity, I've never heard that before. But that's a great way of saying it.
Yeah.
Because I think even if you look at like social media versus people on TV, like that's probably, I've never really had a good way of putting it in words, because it's like you'll have stuff on BBC that gets like 10,000 views. But like just no one really sees it, whatever. But because it's a BBC thing or a Comedy Central thing, it has a big thing for your career, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you do a video or a podcast that gets hundreds of thousands of views, no one cares.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, it's online or whatever, even though you're known to more people. But it's because just because you're famous doesn't mean you're a celebrity.
Yeah, I guess it's like the status aspect, isn't it? Like TV and film and music, I guess. Music in a different sense, because it's sort of blurring with online now.
Yeah.
But they still hold, I think, a higher authority
Yeah.
in that sort of reputation ladder
Yeah.
than the online, because online's so condensed. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of people with a lot of followers.
Yeah. Actually, something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Have you been to Infernos recently?
I've never been to Infernos.
No, you haven't.
Never in my life. I've
You
never ever.
fraud.
I swear on my life, I've never been to
You
Infernos.
fraud. You are literally the guy who ever says, you know that guy who does the Infernos?
Yeah. Never been. It's because I started doing those like clapping videos.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is literally Infernos."
Yeah.
So then I was just like, "POV, you're in the queue for
For
Infernos,"
Infernos,
and
yes.
then like everyone was like, "Oh my god," and like people used to like, "See you in Infernos." I'm like, "I've never been." They're like, "Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have." I'm like, "No, never been."
That's so funny. But you captured it. You captured it very well.
I remember one time I actually I'd just been to my mates, one
Yeah.
of my Leicester mates, and we were in Clapham and we walked past this queue, and they all went mental. And this was when I was like first starting out, so I didn't get recognised much at all. This whole queue was going mental, and I was like, "This is amazing!" And that was the Infernos queue.
Of course.
And that's my closest interaction with Infernos is walking past the queue and like getting pictures taken and being like, "Oh my god. this is incredible."
No, I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. It's just like
I've
a
heard.
meme. It's just a meme for people after uni. That's literally what it is. It's just like, oh my gosh, you do finance and you're in Infernos. That's literally it.
I actually did a whole stand-up bit on Infernos.
Really?
And I've never been.
Really?
But, yeah.
What was the premise?
The premise was, it was in the Clapham.
Yeah.
It was in Clapham, and I was saying like, yeah, these guys are my people. And I was basically saying how Clapham's like a little cult.
Yeah.
And it's got their own way of life. And like Infernos is the church,
That's a
right?
good one.
And that's like the church, except it's the only church in the world where someone's in the corner getting fingered, except the Catholic Church. Got one of the like, oh.
Oh, no.
There's a bit of like, oh.
I love that though. Sometimes that's more fun.
Yeah, oh, it's so fun.
It's so fun, like messing with the audience sometimes. Do you enjoy crowd work now?
No.
No,
No. I've not done it much. Done it literally twice, maybe. So it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's that I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I think what I think is it's less the actual crowd work, because I think it's something that if I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter, because what I've realized is you don't actually need to be funny. You don't need to force a joke.
No.
You can just have a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
But I think it's more being comfortable in that persona on stage outside of doing a set, just having a conversation with someone.
Yeah, I think you'd be good at it as well. You're clearly you're quick.
I think, oh yeah, that's what my girlfriend says.
There it is. See? Even that. See? You're always
For the record, I last ages in bed. Almost too long.
sometimes. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you'd be good. I think it's also, because I think the standards are less, because people are very much willing to be like, oh, this happened in real life. Oh my God, he didn't write that. That's so good. That's what people are waiting for. I think it's one of those things that's like, figuring out how to do it is difficult, but then once you know how to do it, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because I've got like, sometimes I'll have like, I know I'm going to do 20 minutes and I'm like, okay, I've got 15 and I can't be asked to get a good 5. So I'm just going to pad it out with just crowd work bullshit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just how you have to do it. Yeah. But it is interesting because like in America with their stand-up comedians, they see crowd work as much more like hack, like lazy. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. So it's like there are a lot of like cultural differences between British and American stand-up comedians, but that's probably one of the biggest ones. And it's only really recently changed with like Matt Rife and that kind of thing. Yeah, when the crowd work videos went huge and stuff like that, because it's kind of seen like, oh, what are you doing? You're talking to the audience. You haven't really tried putting in any effort, writing a joke. Like that's the actual hard part. But I think here it's like people really respect the idea of crowd work much more.
I respect crowd work so much. I think it's, being able to be that quick and being able to just be so comfortable and confident and in control like that. I respect a lot. I think it's I think it's because it's something that at the moment I can't do. Like I can categorically, confidently say that I'm not very good at it. Eventually, maybe I will. Maybe I'll learn it. I think
You'll get there.
But yeah.
Any stand-up inspirations?
Oh, yeah. I think in a lot of character stuff, basically. A lot of character people. So I think like there's something. I love Mickey Flanagan. But I think he's so different to who I am. But I think the way he sort of does embody these little people in these little moments just adds so much to it.
He is really good.
I think obviously, Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Robin Williams. I'm leaving for Robin Williams.
That just shows how ready I was.
I was gonna say Jim Carrey, and I was gonna be like, Carey, Robin Williams, and I was like Robbie, Gary Barlow, brilliant.
He has a type 5.
Yeah,
he has a type 5. You should see it. It's incredible.
And also, I think, Jack Whitehall. Yeah. Because I think it's someone who I'm obviously closer to. Yeah. In terms of style and stuff like that, Yeah. Crazy head. I'm not as posh as him, but objectively, I'm a posh person. Yeah. If you look at the spectrum.
Yeah. We went to Bristol University.
Yeah. That's how it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm from Leicester, but I'm one of the posh ones.
One of the posh ones.
Yeah. I went to private school, but I never once spat on the cleaners. So. I'm a good guy, what can I say? I was raised well.
Oh my god. Oh god, that was worth the travel here. I never spat on the cleaners. Did you ever spit on the cleaners, Tom?
Oh, that's the face of a man who did. He was riddled with guilt when he said that.
Man. Oh, God. Yeah. I went back to my school recently. They asked me to come back and do a speech to all the kids, all the little kids, and it was so weird because I was like, you guys are just posh.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Was it good?
It was fun. It was really fun. But it was so weird because it was like, I was like, oh shit, this is what it was like. It was because because at our school, they have a big alumni network. So if you're an alumni, they basically roll out the red carpet, basically.
Oh, sick.
So I turned up. They were all so nice, so accommodating. Everything was great. The food was ridiculous.
Was it?
Ridiculous. Like so weirdly good for like school food. Like the chicken was so moist. I'm still thinking about that chicken.
Can I do a speech there?
You probably could.
I asked my school if I could come and do a talk, and they just didn't reply. I was like, hey, I'd love to come back and just talk to the kids. They just didn't reply. I was like, all right, fuck you then.
At what point was this in your career?
It was a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Surely they'd
bullshit.
Love that. Surely they'd love that.
Well, it was weird. It was the old geography teacher messaged me on Facebook.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, are you Henry?
Yeah.
Rowley? I was like, yeah,
yes.
you've just messaged me, found me and messaged me. And he goes, I heard you got married to, and then said a student's name. He was like 4 years below me at school.
Yeah.
I was like, no. And then he was like, one of the staff members said you did. And then I was like, oh, but while you're here, I'd love to come back and do a talk at the school sometime. If they do this thing called like speech day.
Yeah.
Didn't reply. Didn't fucking reply.
But that's
so if you see
thing.
this, Ron Berry.
That's the thing, though, is like they probably have no idea what you do.
No,
because they
no,
because
no.
how would they? Unless it'd be almost more concerning if they did know what you did, because it'd be like that means they're on TikTok watching videos that like 22-year-olds watch.
I think a couple of the teachers do. I bumped into one when I was back in Leicester the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mrs. Douglas.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, we love your videos and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Which was really nice. So a couple of them do.
Yeah.
But a lot of the videos I did a whole series. They were like, we love the teacher ones. And
Yeah.
it was like about a teacher being a pedo, basically.
Nice.
Because one of our teachers was a pedophile.
Oh, every school has one.
Every school.
school has one. Except ours was one of the hot female teachers.
Yes.
And no one shed a tear for that boy. You know the one I mean.
That is the stuff of dreams.
No one shed a tear.
Jesus.
It was like, oh no.
Oh, what? Are you okay?
He was 17. Like, yeah, okay.
Fucking hell, that boy's a king.
Exactly. He was an absolute king. Oh, it was so funny, man.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Did they ask him to come back and do a talk?
Just how to slay on the
Yeah. To shag one of the teachers.
Oh man, that's so funny. No, but yeah, it is weird because it's like even explaining to them like, oh yeah, I have a podcast, I'm a stand-up comedian. They were like, what? Like what?
Yeah,
is that?
yeah.
What is that? What does that mean? Like any of this stuff, like any of the entertainment stuff.
I guess they'd probably be quite shocked as well because you're a medic, right? And so you obviously study medicine. You're obviously very clever. So in school, they're thinking like, oh, this guy's gonna go and be like medicine. Wait, was that the plan from school?
Yeah. No, the plan. I mean, the plan. It was go to uni, do medicine, become a doctor, retire, middle income. But now it's like done stand up, loving it. It's become kind of taking up more of my time, realistically.
Really?
Yeah, like it's probably like 3 or 4 times a week gigging. Doing gigs most weekends and stuff, but it just means I just can't have a social life. That's the thing.
Yeah, because I guess when you're not gigging, you're working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I told you, tomorrow I have the gig they actually asked me to publicize the gig for Disney Plus tomorrow.
Yeah.
At Up the Creek. So like that just worked out perfectly because I'm just off these few days.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And that's so exciting doing something like that. I mean, that's such a big name and stuff. And
Yes, it's just a
for
flex.
TV.
It's just a flex. It's a streaming service.
Yeah. Streaming service.
So
I mean,
streaming service.
but with a bigger name as Disney Plus.
Yeah,
You just
that's
know
right.
every single person you talk to over the next few days. It's like, what are you up to? I'm doing a gig for Disney Plus. What are you doing?
And you know it's going to be like, as seen on Disney Plus. Ricky Messenger. As seen on Disney Plus.
Every gig you do now.
Exactly.
As seen on Disney Plus.
Of course it has to be. Fuck
Yeah.
How long have we been going, Tom? 1 hour and 10. Oh, nice. Fine. Cool. Fine. All right, fine. Last question. So you have no idea where career's going, not at all, basically.
No. I think, obviously I've got the Fringe and then the thing after, and then hopefully some stuff with acting.
Yeah.
It is kind of just taking every opportunity, seeing where it goes,
Yeah.
and trying to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
There's no point doing it if I'm not having
Yeah.
fun. That's my approach to
Nah.
absolutely everything.
So with like, the voices that you do, are there particular people that you're doing impressions of?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes no. Like, for example, like I do these Soho House piss takes of like every person at Soho House.
Yeah.
That is just every single person at
That's
Soho
Soho
House. There's not one person I have in mind. It's like, it's all of them.
you. Yeah.
And that was actually based on my first time there.
Yeah.
I felt so out of my depth because I was like, everyone here is so cool.
Yeah.
So I started doing what they're doing and being like, yeah, could I get a picante, please? And then I was just like halfway through, I felt so disgusted at myself. I kind of looked down, I was there like, oh.
What have I become?
It was sort of that like post-nut clarity. I hadn't nutted in the middle of so. I was just stood there like, oh, this is horrible. And I was like, right, I need to make this video. And
Yeah. No, I get you.
but yeah, sometimes it's certain people. So
Yeah.
like Minty was based on 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Which is the husky voice Posh girl.
Yes.
And Hugo was based off.
Why is there
one of my
always a
mates.
husky
There's
voice?
Always.
What does that mean? Like, is it the smoking? Like, I assume.
I feel like it's hereditary. Sometimes you just they're always husky voice.
Yeah.
And you're like, where does this come from, right?
Yeah, but it's like, but they always do smoke as well. That's always a thing. But it's like, yeah, like you say, like they'll come to you and they're already talking like this.
Yeah. No, seriously, like. No, and they're always like so like dramatic about everything. No, seriously, guys, come on, like that's not funny. Hugo, no. I think it's the smoking because sometimes if I'm on holiday or something, I'll smoke too much, lose my voice, and then just become that person. Or like at Fringe, I was smoking way too much, drinking too much, and so by the last week, that was my voice. And I had a bit where I was meant to do that impression, and there was just no difference. So that bit just lost all humor because it was just kind of like, you know, I just had to add in. I was like, I'm aware that is how I also actually sound right now.
Of course. So you do the voice on stage too?
A little bit. I feel like for something like Fringe, I will do a couple. I don't want it to ever become TikTok on stage. You know, I definitely want to make it a stand-up set and not just fall back on those characters.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time, people who buy tickets, a lot of people will be like wanting to see a bit of that, you know?
Yeah.
And it, you know, it's like, I didn't say this, but my agent was like, you've got to do it because it's like if someone goes to see a band and you don't play their favorite song, it's like you can do, you get that in, you know, it's an hour long, you do a bit of that, people are like, that itch is scratched, and then you can do your other stuff.
That's a very like astute observation. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, because I mean, it is. I guess what I would love to know is I wonder how many of the people who come to your shows are like stand-up fans. Like, and how many are coming literally just for you? Because it's like, how many people are you introducing to comedy, and how, or it's like, are the people who are coming stand-up comedy fans who also follow you, or do they just follow you and they just want to see you? That's what I wonder.
That's interesting.
That changes it, doesn't it?
My guess is the monthly show at 2 North Down is mostly Instagram fans who don't watch that much comedy. And they want to see me. That's my guess. It's really hard to tell, but from the people I've seen, obviously within that, there will be quite a few stand-up fans and stuff, or they'll bring their friend who's really into stand-up or something like that. And there's always that friend who's desperate to say that they don't know who you are and like expecting you to blow up. It's always like their friend would be like, oh my God, hi, like, I love you on Instagram, like, and I'll be like, oh, hey, and then their friend would be like, I don't know who you are, by the way. Never heard of you. I just came. She dragged me along, but I've never seen your video. I'm sorry. And I'm there like, oh no, don't be sorry. Like, I don't mind. There's a lot of people on this.
Who don't know who I am.
I'm not going to be like, what? You don't know who I am? What? Just like shitting myself in pure indignation. Like,
people do get weird. I guess I don't know. I guess they get jealous, I suppose is the word, but almost people like to see people who do well do badly sometimes. There is something about that where it's like, you're doing well, fuck you for doing well.
Well, I think that's why, like, for an audience coming to see me do stand-up, it's a win-win. Because if I do well, great, you get to see some good comedy. If it goes shit, great, you get to see some Gen Z internet twat completely die on stage. Like,
have you had any deaths yet?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why and where and how?
I did 2 gigs like a couple days in between, and the first one, the exact same set. The first one went really, really well. Really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite gigs. Had a lot of fun. And then the next one was down in Brighton. And
was that Bison Beer?
Yes, which is a great venue. Great venue. I did
that one. Oh, yeah.
Did you? Yeah. And it was a great venue, great show. Like all the other comedians were great. I just went on stage and just suddenly was like, I don't know, I just felt awkward and did the exact same set that I'd done 2 days before, but didn't go fully into it and just pretty much completely bombed.
Really?
Like, you know, it was very awkward, and it was like, afterwards, there was something quite freeing about it.
Why?
Just because there's something quite nice about it almost. It makes you feel a little bit more like, all right, I've done that. It's actually not as bad. Because when you're up there, at first you're like, oh my God, this is going horribly. And then you think, oh, fuck it. I just got to carry on. I'm not going to stop and go off stage. That's even worse. I'm going to finish my set. And it's a bad show. And then we do another one.
Was it 20 minutes?
I think it was 20. I think it was 15, 20. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good though, because I mean, to be fair, it's the advice that I was given that is like, which I wish I knew before, is different rooms are like. So like if you think, like maths GCSE, how you have like higher in your foundation, if you can only get like a C on the foundation or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the highest you can get, even if you do really well on the paper. That some rooms are just foundation papers and some rooms are higher papers. So some rooms you'll get in and people will laugh, it'll be so loud. But then some rooms, the best you could have done is a C.
Yeah.
Because the room itself was just not willing to let you have that explosive laughter. And it's not a critique on the room. It's not a critique on the setup. It's just the way some people watch comedy is different. So in what I've seen is like, you have some people who come to comedy in like a comedy club, which I don't know if you've done any like actual like clubs, like
yeah.
So like where it's like people will come and they're like, we are here to laugh. And then there'll be some people who come and they experience it more like a theater show.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm here to watch a show. And if I laugh, I will laugh in the same way I'm watching like a play. So I'll laugh, but I won't be raucous, blah, blah, blah. And I think the one at Bison Beer is a bit like that. I think it's a bit of one of the theater shows. Kind of vibe.
I would, yeah. Maybe normally. I've only done it once.
Yeah.
That night, I think it was just me. Because I saw the acts before me.
Really? Okay, fine.
That's the thing, is like, that is amazing advice.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of 2 other times where I've bombed.
Yeah.
And that definitely rings true.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that night I saw the acts before me.
Yeah.
And
They
still
killed.
did good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Even when
killed.
they messed up a little bit, one of
Yeah.
them looked a little bit nervous, but still ended up killing
Yeah.
it, and I just didn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, that's a good thing. That's a
Yeah.
good thing, though. Honestly, you only get better when you bomb.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
That's ISIS's favorite saying.
only kind of makes sense.
Sorry. I couldn't hold that one.
Oh God, it's true. It's true.
It's true.
Famously,
That's their motto.
They are big stand-up comedy fans. No, man. Yeah, no, it is very true. It's even like whenever you're doing stuff, you're out of your comfort zone. That's when you get better. So now this is the last question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, how do you write? This is what I ask to everyone who comes. How for you? What's your creative process? How does it work?
I think I'll usually have some sort of topic.
Yeah.
Or just something like that. And I'll just think of stories, or actually, you know what? Actually, I'll see something usually. I'll see something and kind of then be like, oh, maybe there's a scenario in this, or experience something. Like there's the tube, for example.
Yeah.
I've got this tube bit, which is one of my favorite bits. And I find it so funny how people run for the tube when it's got 2 minutes, another one in 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, this is actually interesting. We all do it. We get weirdly stressed.
Yeah.
And there's all these little intricacies of tube behavior that we all do, no matter what walk of life you're in. And so it was basically thinking about that. And then you sit down and write, say, like this moment of someone running for the tube, you running for the tube and the thought process that it must be going through. And then around that, other stuff will just come, because then you'll be thinking about, when there's slow walkers or fast walkers or someone trying to overtake you, or when your bag gets stuck, or then the different types of people who read. And I don't know, it's sort of like starting off with an idea or seeing something, sort of creating a little scenario, and then other stuff just sort of comes. But
Is it the same between videos and stand-up?
Yeah. Videos is much more improv, I think. I'll have an idea, I'll be like, I'm going to do, every emo punk rock song. And just get it out and just do it. Whereas stand-up, I think I'll make a note in my phone when it comes to in my head. I've got just a section that's like ideas, and it'll just be a sentence. And then most nights I'll try and sit down on my laptop, go through those. Sometimes I write nothing, sometimes I write loads. And just see if anything good comes from it. A lot of the time it's shit.
Of course. Okay, so to close out, we have a closing tradition that I've started recently. So every time we close the podcast, what we do is I'll ask the person who's the guest a question that is a deeper question about themselves, and you can answer it however you do. Some people take it seriously, some people don't take it seriously.
Okay.
So, so here's the question. The question is, what is the hardest part about being you?
I think I want to answer this seriously.
Do it.
I think it's it's a double-edged sword because it's the hardest and the best part. But it's the constant need for validation in all walks of life.
Yeah.
And the hard part is, you know, if someone doesn't like me, I really hate it. I just can't like deal. So I try really hard, but some people are just not going to like you. But then the good part is it means, you know, you try your hardest to be nice to people, I guess, and not to be a dick and not to be rude and go over and above to make other people feel comfortable. So, but it's you know, it's one of those things. It's always there.
Yeah.
And so like you do. You know, I don't mind bad comments or anything online. That actually doesn't really get to me.
Do you read comments?
I do, yeah. And I find the bad ones are usually true, so I just find them funny. Like if someone doesn't find it funny, I'm like, that's fair enough, it's comedy. But if someone says something about my appearance or something, I'm like, they've got a point.
Yeah.
Damn, they got a point. But I think, just constantly, like, you know, a lot of people can just live their lives, and I think it's a lot easier. But constant need for validation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
They did it to you. Honestly, Henry, thank you so much.
Also, I wish I just said, when you said the hardest part about being you, I wish I just said my dear.
Yes, I knew. You can't go back in time. You can't go back in time for the quip. You can't. The quip opportunity left.
My cock.
Fine. Thank you so much for coming on, man. That was so much fun.
Thank you for having me, man. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'll see you next time, people. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.